righty, well, welcome everybody to the Tuesday Wayland Master Call. This is the sales builder call we do every Tuesday. And I'm excited for the call today because the topic of the call is building a dream team. And I have two rock stars with me that are going to help me go through the call today. But with everything going on in the world, it can be challenging to find the right people to be in the right seat. But we're gonna do that. I have two emerging leaders here. They're going to really give you some insight of what they've seen so far. And both of them have been here a short period of time. They really are grabbing on to what we're doing here. But my name is Larry Griffin. I am direct to Marshall Wayland and NSFG, and super grateful for being on the team with Marshall Wayland and all the great people that are associated with the Wayland Nation, because it has grown rapidly. And it's been 13 years in the making. And so it's pretty awesome that we're able to do that. I'm in business here with my wife, Ann, and we're just grateful for the opportunities, because not everybody gets a chance to do that. Not every company is growing at the way we're growing. But before we jump on here, I just want to pass this over to one of our guests here. Rachel is going to be so kind to go over some of the leaderboards that we had in the past here for sales and building. And Rachel, if you are able to do that, you do have a share screen, so you should be able to bring that up.
Okay, give me 1 second. Slideshow. Okay. Tell me if you can see my screen. Can you see it?
And we are good. Yes.
Okay. Just so everyone can see it, because my eyes are wearing on me. So welcome everyone. Honored to be here. Super excited. Thank you, Larry, for the opportunity. I'm direct to Larry and his amazing wife, Ann, a part of the Wayland hierarchy. So for the production leaderboard this week, or last week rather, the week of April 5th through the 11th, we have our top 10 producers. We have Mr. Dave Albro at number 10 with 11,469 APV, Mr. Nate Ramirez with 12,692 APV. We have Stella Dinwiddle, or Whitey, excuse me, 13,562. Christy Doyle, 15,447. Brad Sullivan at $16,734. Sean Hogue, $16,764. Lindsay Durhammer, $20,587. Chad Harrington at number 3, $20,603. Mr. Jake Van Dusen, y'all, pause for a moment. This man, I listened to a podcast with him. My head was like, boom. He's always on here, very inspirational. I know he's got small kids and is just very focused on what he does. So shout out to him, because he has inspired me. $24,090. And Miss Margaret Bonds Jensen at the top spot, number 1 with 36,614 APV. For those of you who don't know what our new APV is, our currency, y'all, this is what people are producing in a week, not a month and not a year, a week. Very, very exciting. So bravo to you guys. Okay, next on recruiting leaderboard. So these are for people who want to build an agency where you are discipling others, you're leading others. We're going to start first with our agency owners, again, for the week of April 5th through the 11th. In fifth place, we have Miss Courtney Wallace with 2 new recruits. Congratulations. We have Charity Pruger with 2 as well. Trevor Williams, 4 new recruits. Travis Stevens, 4 recruits, tied for second spot. And then Mr. Rich Osterhout, 6 new recruits. Bravo, guys. Next, we're going to go to agency directors. These are people who have promoted an agency owner within their agency. So in the 5th spot, we have Mr. Chris Goheen with 3 new recruits. 4th place, Brad Sullivan and Jesse Lakin. 3 tied for the 4th spot. Joe Chimu, I'm going to say, with 5 new recruits. Roddy and Jessica Jessup, 8 recruits. And my fearless leaders, Larry and Ann Griffin, with 25 new recruits. Bravo, guys. It takes time to mentor people, and good on y'all for doing it. You're changing lives. Then we have a Regency agency director and above. We have regional. In the 5th spot, we have Ryan and Michelle Miller with 19 new recruits. Sean Shannon, he's freaking awesome. 20 new recruits. Jamie Susie and Corey Knee Neighbor, 23 new recruits. When you talk about systems, they are a well-oiled machine. Sarah and Jared Reineke, 26 new recruits. And at the top, Mr. Jacob Pogue, 55 new recruits, guys. Anything is possible. Be inspired by this. And yeah, good job, all. Next, we're going to go to recruiting leaderboards. So this is week of April 5th through the 11th. Again, so we have number 10 with Miss Kelly Bush. Number 9, Jonathan Abernathy. Great job. We have George Barnes, Dan Miller, Christy Doyle, and Amy Anderson all in the 5th spot with 2 new recruits. We have Sue Adams with 3, Joanne Bailey. I'm on a call with her every morning, and I feel like she's running and shaking and moving. She has 3 recruits. Larry has 4, and Rich in the top spot at number 1 with 6 wonderful top 10 agents. Good job, guys. Our weekly totals, if this doesn't blow your mind and inspire you, I don't know what will. 109 new recruits in a week. 226 thus far in April. We are not over. It is not May yet. And 1,123 applications. Those are individuals, protected families, gaining peace of mind, legacy created. Y'all, we're disrupting society in the best way. Bravo. And 519 riders. This means people who are living, eating, breathing this business and protecting families. In a week, 519 people. Wonderful. For a grand total of 1,387,000 and 7, excuse me. And don't forget the 7 for APV. $1.3 million in a week, guys, is remarkable. I think when I first started, I didn't understand what that meant. I was like, wow, that's a big number. It's truly remarkable when you break it down and get to learn this business. So congratulations to everyone. Okay, mark your calendars. Association is such a vital core for us, a core value. We have events all over the US often. We encourage you, if you're within a 6-hour drive time, please attend. You're remote, but you don't have to be remote all the time. Yes, we're isolated to our homes or wherever you work, but you don't have to be. You can connect with other leaders, learn something new, hear their stories, and latch on to what they're doing and apply it to your business to help more families. So if you're in Fort Lauderdale, we have the Penso Agency Business Overview with a lot of powerhouses, April 25th, May 16th, Grand Rapids Boot Camp. I just hear Grand Rapids and think of, what's it called? Whitewater rafting in Granville, Michigan. May 28th through the 30th, Advanced Markets Boot Camp. This is for anyone who really wants to leverage passive income. In Orlando, Florida, SFG is hosting that. May 30th, we have a Pittsburgh boot camp for all you East Coasters. In Slippery Rock, Pennsylvania. Never heard of that, but it sounds fun. And then June 3rd through the 8th, we have a Symmetry exclusive experience for people who have earned trips. If you're new, you can earn trips. Symmetry and our carriers will pay you based on what you do in your business to go on all expense paid trips. It's crazy. I think when I was in sales, I had to earn those, and the benefits were they paled in comparison as far as what people get. And again, you get to partner and associate with other people. So please get to those and be inspired to earn a trip. Figure out which carriers are doing what and set your eyes on those. Focus on growing that business, and you'll see yourself on a trip. It's pretty exciting. And lastly,
Lastly,
go
we
ahead, Larry.
have Administrative Professional Week. This is a national thank you for all the administrators, all the admins, everybody on every level that's working in the Wayland hierarchy. You work so hard, and you probably never get enough recognition for what you do. But I'm going to tell you right now, everybody that has an admin, reach out to them, do something nice for them, and thank them. Just thank them. Big thank you. But we appreciate you. We appreciate you for all you do, right? You're not on the leaderboards, but I want you to know that this is a big deal, and you're never forgotten. Okay, so I just want to be a big shout out that for the Wayland Master Hierarchy. Thank you for all you do.
Thank you. Thank you.
Great job, Rachel. I really enjoyed that. That was
Thank
good.
you. Me too.
But, yeah, kind of getting into the flow of everything, right? But
Yes.
it's a lot of fun to see people grow, like you, and also Amy. And I really appreciate having both of you on today. But we were talking about, what did we want to talk about? We talk about there's a lot of things that we can talk about, right? But we were saying, oh, how about growth? How about something we can do where we are talking about building teams and how can we get better? But when we had talked about a title for it, building building a dream team, right? Before we build a dream team, what we have to know is what that dream or what dream are we chasing, right? It starts with that individual person before we can have a team, right? You come here by yourself and you add people to your team, but I think it's also very important to know what that dream is. The dream is your purpose, right? It's the vision that's going to pull you forward, and you have to be able to relate that to a team. It gives you meaning of all the hard work that we do, the late nights, the grind, and sometimes and the clarity is where those tough decisions are going to be made down the road. So without a dream, a team has no direction, right? It's like getting in a car without a GPS. I mean, you're just going to end up somewhere, but it's motion with no destination. So if you would think about this, right? If the dream is the map, the team is the vehicle, and you, the individual, the agent, you're the driver. You're the driver of all that. You are the GPS for the team, right? But if you don't know where you're going, you're not going to be able to have your team is not going to be real clear on where they should be ending up either. So when the dream is clear, the roadway starts to open up, it gets a lot clearer for everybody else. Then it's worth it, because I have to tell you this is that when the dream is big enough, the facts don't count. And what that means is it doesn't matter where you are now, it's where do you want to go? And the thing is it worth it? Ask people that have been here for a while. It is, but it takes a lot of work.
Mhm.
You're going to attract people who believe that you believe it, right? You can't mentor or build a team if your heart isn't in it and you don't believe it. So know that, because that's where the magic happens. That's where it all goes. So just kind of prefacing what we want to talk about today. And like I said, I have some really, really awesome agents that are on the call here with me today. And we have Rachel Lewis and we have Amy Pearson. Um, Rachel, if you could maybe tell folks a little bit about, well, before I do that, if you could just maybe do something where, well, I'll tell you what, I'll get back to that. I'll get back to that. But um, we talk about, building a team. We talk about, why we're going to build a team, and we talk about it starts with us, right? But if you could put in chat, maybe for everybody that's on the call today, what describes the kind of team that you want to build? Just like in one word, drop it in chat. What's one word that would describe the kind of team that you'd want to build? Okay. And then Rachel, I know we're going to talk today about more getting vision and foundation and things like that. But um, I would love to just tell everybody who you are, where you're from. And let me say this before that is Rachel is a team leader. She's been here. They started with her husband, Daryl, November of last year. Daryl started a little bit before that. But Rachel came in here and just was a sponge. She just came in here and she hit 2 slingshots over the last few months. She's running for a 95% contract. And, from a point of being more on the sidelines when she came in here, she's full in right now. She's just really doing tremendous things. She has her vision is so big, but her heart matches that. And I
Mhm.
just want to say that I really appreciate this young lady. And Rachel, if you want to introduce yourself and tell a little bit about yourself, and then we can go over, like our next section here on vision.
Sure. Well, thank you again for the opportunity. I appreciate that you said my heart matched because I'm a very emotional person, and I believe what you put in your heart to, what you put your heart into, can truly bless you or curse you. You have to be very strategic on where you invest your emotions and things like that. So I'm Rachel Lewis. I'm a team leader with my husband Daryl Lewis. As Larry mentioned, he started before me. When I say I was reluctant to join, it was like trying to baptize a cat, if you can imagine throwing water, putting a cat in a bathtub. I was like, absolutely not. If anyone knows dogs and French bulldogs, you have to pull them because they're really stubborn.
Mhm.
That was me. I spent almost 15 years in tech. I was a sales executive and account manager. I worked at Dell. I worked at Dell Technologies. I managed, multi-million dollar quotas, $70 million quotas annually. I had a team. My W-2 looked great. We didn't want for anything. Full benefits, all the things that we're taught, right? Go to school, get a job. You're going to be at your job indefinitely until you make it to retirement, if you make it to retirement. And I found myself with Friday fever and Sunday anxiety for a lot of my career. Um, the work I did mattered, but my heart wasn't in it. And so it was more of an obligation versus something I truly wanted to do. It kept me up at night, but not in a great way, if that makes sense. I didn't go to bed with peace. And the older I get, the more I realize peace is priceless. And I want the kind of day in life that is a well done, good, and faithful servant. I'm a believer, hands down, loud and proud. I love Jesus. And I really believe in leaving a legacy, but living a life that makes sense, right? And whatever that looks like for you, that's your business. And when Daryl was like, yeah, I'm getting into insurance, I'm going to get licensed. And I remember him doing the pre licensing, and I would hear the audio. It was so daunting to me, guys. I was like, oh my gosh, there's nothing I'd rather not do than this. It's so funny how we make plans and yet we end up somewhere. And it's a blessing in disguise, right? So you may be new and be thinking, like, wow, I'm so overwhelmed. There's so much to learn. Or you may have been invited by someone and you're not even licensed yet. Your license is your golden ticket. That is your access point. That is how you get in the game. That's your access point. From there, you have so many wonderful people that inspire you and challenge you and encourage you. This is very different. I was in network marketing for many years, about 5 years. I was with a company called Arbonne, and I learned a lot. I paid for high level coaching. I had access to, high ticket coaching, things like that. But symmetry is different. Not only are we in it, obviously, for income and to make a difference in our lives, but we're also here to serve others. And that was a really big part of my why. When I left corporate America, I was like, listen, I'm not doing something just to do it anymore. I was a
Mhm.
disruptive child. I've been a disruptive personality. I just don't believe in going just the status quo in this mundane life. Like I always felt like there was something more. And so I'm like, okay, Lord, what do you want from me? And help me to want what you want for me. And so it happened again by proxy of my husband, met Larry and Ann. And my husband's funny because he's like, hey, you should listen to this call. Hey, you should start doing these things. And I was like, I know what you're trying to do. And the answer is no. Hard pass, zero chance. You will not catch me getting licensed nor doing this. But the more he shared his story, and I was like, wow, you're really making a difference and you're helping people. And two are greater than one. It's in the Bible, right? There's a return for your labor. We can really duplicate and make larger waves together, right? I do believe in symmetry, financial group, but I believe symmetry in my life, in my marriage, in my community, and what I do every day. And so I started with recruiting back in June. He's like, hey, you're really good with people. Like, people are my ministry. Would you help me with recruiting? I'm like, sure, easy, can do that, fine. Started doing that and grew through the recruiting process and pivoted and learned how to really talk to people and share the opportunity. And then in November, I listened, Ed Milet's one of my favorite digital mentors. And he was talking about a lot of us are complacent and in a stagnant place because we haven't challenged ourselves. Not to do more reps at the gym when you're already at the gym, not to eat another, healthy meal, but to really challenge yourself and do something completely out of your comfort zone. And then the light bulb went off, and I was like, oh, get my insurance license. Is that what you're telling me to do? So I got licensed in November of last year, wrote my first piece of business 3 weeks later. And I've given it to God. I'm like, okay, Lord, show me who I can serve. Show me the one. Show me who needs to hear this opportunity. And let me not get in the way of these other people, because I think oftentimes we prejudge and we limit them and we block their blessings because of our limitations. And I realized I couldn't do that. I couldn't do that. It's like, okay, I share and I'm detached from the outcome. Whatever people want, great. If they say yes, awesome. If they say no, that's their prerogative. And it's been a really wild journey. I don't know everything about insurance. I will be the first to say, um, but I'm plugged in and I'm being accountable. And I have awesome mentors and a great team of people within our base shop who are encouraging each other and helping each other. The resources are here, the system is here. You don't have to have a brick and mortar and pay all this money with overhead. You don't have to kind of recreate the wheel. It's already available, guys. And that was one thing for me. I was like, I want something that's a plug and play, right? If I'm going to join something new, I'm going to need it to be a plug and play because I don't know what the heck I'm doing. Um, and it's been nothing short of remarkable. I mean, the testimonies from people coming back to me, sharing what I've been able to do, getting people protected who were told they couldn't get insured before because we're brokers, because we have access to multiple carriers, because we're not limited. It's just really special. Yes, you can earn a heck of a lot of money, but you can also lay your head at night down knowing you did something well for someone else. My life is bigger than me. I like to live out loud and on purpose, and just grateful for the opportunity. It's a family business for us. Our 7-year-old son is very involved. We set weekly goals in our business, and he holds me accountable to my goals. So I would encourage y'all, if you have a family, if you have people in your life that you love, share it with them. Um, because as you're growing, they will too. And so it's just been remarkable. But yeah, I was a former techie turned insurance broker, but I really believe I'm a hope dealer, right? I'm here to help the lost be found, captives be set free, and protect families. Honestly, that's what I'm here to do. I'm not selling anyone. I serve every single day.
Yeah, that's so awesome. And so I know you do warm market and cold market recruiting, right?
I
Building
do.
and working with Daryl as he's doing the sales side, right? But
Mhm.
how do your values shape who you recruit? Because I know you don't recruit everybody, right? Because you basically go through a process. You want to
Mhm.
maybe share a little bit about that?
Sure. So we have a three-part process, and this has been modified many times since
Mm.
last June. So the process is as follows. We use a platform, Jazz HR, for cold market, warm market. Obviously, it could be your barista, it could be your barber. Warm market is anyone that you can connect with and have a conversation with, right? Friends, family, and beyond. So from a cold market perspective, we use Jazz HR. It's an awesome tool. And so the way I phrase it, I always have a word, something to go along with things, is I pre-qualify the person. I have a series of questions, who I'm looking for. I review the resume just so I have conversation pieces to attach to what we're going to discuss. So I pre-qualify. Then I punt them over to Daryl if I believe they passed the first screening to Daryl to qualify. And then he asks them a bit more questions, and I let them know ahead of time, hey, this is a three-part process. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I've seen a lot of people get 15 interviews only to be told no, they chose someone else. And so I let them know ahead of time, you're not going to have 15 interviews. We have a three-part interview process, level set expectations. And if they get through Daryl and everyone agrees mutually that this is a good fit, then the third and final round is with Mr. Larry, and he solidifies. So we pre-qualify, qualify, and solidify. And as they're moving through the process, they're meeting with people that have more longevity and tenure here. So it sticks and it hits different, if that makes sense. And so I prepare them ahead of time and just say certain things. But what we're looking for are entrepreneurs, business minded people, people who are forward thinking, self aware, self aware, and self starters. Coachable, positive. That is something that is so undervalued in today's world. This world is toxic. The news is toxic. There's noise. Positive people are such a blessing. Kind people are such a blessing. People who are present, emotionally intelligent, because this business will test your emotions. You will have lots of feelings, but feelings are visitors. They're not decision makers. And I have to tell myself that every day. People who have a servant heart, you know, yes, you're here to make commission, but there's a mission that you serve that's so much larger than you. Solution oriented. You're going to pivot. You're going to run into problems. Your clients are going to get declined. They're not going to share certain things. Everything's going to happen, but it's about how you respond to it that really determines how much you're going to grow here. People who are resilient and have grit. You have to stick with it. My husband and I often joke, like, get in the game. Like, if I write a policy and he hasn't, or vice versa, he's like, get in the game, and we challenge each other. But people who want to be here, also, those are the people. I can't want it more for you. I want this for everyone. But if you don't want it for you, that's okay. and I have to be able to detach from that. I'll still be here. I'll still be here whenever you're ready. But as for me, it's onward and upward. I can't spend too much time with people who don't want to be here, because there are people that do. And that's time I could spend with someone who can protect families and change their life. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. So good in regards to that. But switching gears a little bit and changing to Amy, right? So we have another agent here that, guys, Amy learns so fast that you're going to think that she's been here for a long time, but she hasn't. Now she does have some experience. I'm going to let her tell a little bit about her background here, but just that, she's just a fiery redhead that just goes for it, right? Like she just goes for it. That's all I can say is like nothing's going to stop her. She'll figure it out and she's going to go for it. But when I asked her to be on the call, she said immediately yes. She didn't know what she was saying yes to, but she said, I could do this. And I just wanted to have you know that you don't have to be here for 3 or 4 or 5 years to be on this call. You just have to be ready and show up. And she shows up every day. We have an impact call Monday through Friday. She shows up on camera, ready to go. And she's just fiery. And I just like you to hear from that because she's basically she came here. I want to tell you, she started here. Are you ready for this? The end of February of this year. Okay, and she's already hit her slingshot, right? She already hit one promotion, and I didn't mention that Rachel already hit 2 slingshots. Okay, so I missed that, but congrats to that. But let me just say that I appreciate everything Amy does for the team because she's on an underwriting stream all the time, and she's always helping agents, and she's there to help, right? She has young children, but she's there to help in the midst of everything. So I wanted to have her on there and talk a little bit about how we are as we build a team, as we build a culture, as we build a dream team, how we engage. But I just want, before we do that, Amy, first time on a national call here with the Wayland agency. Everybody, welcome Amy Pearson and tell everybody who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Hello, good afternoon. And I just want to first thank Larry and Ann for this opportunity, for, just believing in me and allowing me to join this organization. And Rachel is like my mentor coming in here. I'm a Jesus believer too, and I'm fired up for God. I know that there's amazing things that he's going to do in my life. And with this Rachel, this sister that I have, I'll tell you, like, she has been such an inspiration just with how she takes her day to day. Us moms, I have 3 children of my own. So I have a 5, a 6, and a 10-year-old. So, just being able to see another mom who has children, who's working with it, and she's just very inspiring as a mom, her and her husband. So I couldn't agree with her more. The Symmetry Financial Group is a blessing, but the symmetry in our families and our lives is important. So I just love the name. So I couldn't agree with her more. My background, guys, is I have 15 plus years in sales and the financial field. So I started off hitting the phones when I was 18 years old, and I started telemarketing for a mortgage company down in if anybody's ever been to Cleveland, Ohio. So at the top, if you know where the downtown, the flats are, Cleveland is a beautiful city. There's a Hard Rock there. If you guys ever get to go to Cleveland, it's a great city. But I started telemarketing, and at 18 years old, so picking up the phones is not a problem for me. And so I was in the mortgage industry, but I did so well on the phones that I was promoted to loan officer position. So I got licensed as a loan officer. And so I worked in the mortgage business for some years, and then I got into debt settlement. So I worked for a debt company, and my biggest month, I enrolled $1.1 million of debt, and that was like 27 clients. And for a company out of Florida, and I had great mentors there, great leaders. And then so times changed, and then I got into the insurance business. I got my life and health insurance. and I worked for a few different companies, but the main company that I did get a lot of good backing was Western and Southern Life. It was a captive agency, but the skills that I learned working for a captive agency and bringing it into my business now, I believe is helpful when it comes to team building. Why? Because oh, I'm sorry about the noise. Miss, sure, you gotta go over there, honey. Can't be loud. That's my daughter. So I have the captive. When I worked for them, we used to go out and pound the pavement almost every day. Going to number one, going to meet with our clients, and then going to brick and mortar businesses to talk about with group insurance and just different types of retirement solutions. So I have the backing of working with just being able to talk to anybody and everybody about what I do. So Western and Southern Life, you are in a great place. You have, working for a captive insurance company was good, but I can tell you right now, I got so burnt out because there's only so many family and friends, and people get turned down. And when they get turned down, you don't have anywhere else to take them. Working for a broker, having access to all the core carriers that we use is amazing to me. So I love we can write a policy on somebody who's 15 days old out of the womb to 89, so you have everything at your fingertips. So that's basically my skill set is, I can pick up a phone and use the phone like I'm very good at the phones. But so I want to talk today about having like real strategies. Now I'm new at team building. I was never into recruiting. So what Rachel has gone over, pre-qualifying somebody, her system that her and Daryl have, that's so key. I felt that like lightning, pre-qualifying them, putting them through the first interview, the second interview, and then putting them on a hierarchy. So team building is something that I'm very interested in. But guys, I want to be honest with you. Have you all heard of Chat GPT? There's so much. If you just type in here, that's what I did, because I don't know too much about team building, but basically we're going to talk about real strategies, right, Larry? On how is that?
Yeah, strategies and culture and how we do it remotely, because we are recruiting not only locally, but we do it pretty much anywhere in the country. So we want to kind of tie that together. Yes.
Yes. So getting into this, let's get into it. So, from what I'm looking at here is basically there's recruiting methods that work. Okay. I'm going to give you all like 5 recruiting methods that work online, whether you're online, offline, warm market, social media. Okay. So there is the warm market recruiting. How it works is this is your referrals and your personal network. Okay. So how it works is you're going to tap into your existing relationships, your friends, your family, your coworkers, and clients. And then online, you can send personalized messages via email, through LinkedIn, or by text. Okay. And then you can offer, let them into one of these calls. So you're going to offer your referral. Why don't you come join a call? Okay. Get them into, get them on a call. And then, offline, you can meet with people, like going to the barista, the cafe, referrals from family gatherings, So why this works in your warm market is because you're going to build higher trust, and your conversion rate is going to be better when you have a personal connection with somebody. So when you use your warm market, if you properly align them with the symmetry vision, then you're going to have a higher conversion rate. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay. All right. And then secondly, you can, social media marketing. I feel that this is going to explode in some way because I'm very into this digital marketing thing, networking. But you can use the platforms like Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, to share your mission, to share your success stories and your opportunities. And then what you can do, a tip is, guys, if you're doing the social media marketing, you can use a mix of content like lifestyle posts, testimonials from your current clients. Okay. value-driven videos. And then you can do like behind the scenes looks. So, you know, it's best for attracting attention. Social media is going to attract you attention, and it's going to build credibility. And then you're going to generate the leads passively. Okay. You're going to get that DM that says, hey, tell me more about that. So I feel like there's an explosion coming in the social media area, but that's just me. Content marketing, attraction marketing. So this one, basically, the third option here is, you know, attraction marketing. Basically, you're going to position yourself as an expert by sharing helpful content. So video blogs, reels, you know, that speaks to your target recruits, you know, pain points. So when you do content marketing, so you're going to use like YouTube, LinkedIn articles, a personal blog, but it's going to attract like-minded people. Now you can do in-person marketing, networking, and community involvement. Okay, so in-person networking and community involvement is like when you're going to host local events. Okay, that's a good way. We used to do that when I worked for Western and Southern, the captive agency. Like we honestly, when I tell you we would pound the pavement, like honestly, we would leave at 10 a.m. and we wouldn't be back till 4. Honestly, and then we would be leaving at 5. I'm telling you. So like, you know, you can host local events, you can do workshops, you can do meetups, community group meetings. You can go to the Chamber of Commerce. We did that. You can go to Toastmasters, industry expos, charity events. Okay. You know, this is going to build relationships face to face. And that's like gold, because if you can get the trust and the relationship with somebody face to face, then that's what you want, because who do they know? You know, it's just, it's a web. It's just a web that keeps growing. So that's going to, you know, it leads to deeper trust and better recruits. Okay. And then lastly, you can post on job boards, classifieds, Craigslist, you know, you can at your gym, put your stuff up there, you know, put your flyer up there, put your business card, however you want to do it. Post online platforms like Indeed, Craigslist, ZipRecruiter, you know, industry specific sites. Offline, you can do flyers. That's what I did. I live in an apartment community here out of Memphis, Tennessee, and I printed out all of my my business card with a little spiel of what I do. And I printed out probably 300 flyers and my kids and I walked them all around my apartment community and put them in the doors. Of course, I got permission. You want to get permission. So you just walk around, just, you know, you get your name out there. That's what you want to do. Community bulletin boards, you know, this is going to work because people actively seeking opportunities for finding, you know, finding a new career, part-time or full-time, working from home, they're going to be more likely to respond, you know, to somebody that's face to face. And when I'm out walking, doing stuff, I'm always talking to people, you know, they're like, what do you know, it's just, you gotta, if you're more of an introvert, I get it. I'm introverted and I'm extroverted. I'm a little of both. But I feel like once you realize that, like, this is like a metamorphosis, like, it's like, I look at this like a metamorphosis. I don't know if anybody else can understand what I'm saying. Like, you're starting out as the caterpillar and then you're just gonna, you know, you're gonna bloom into the beautiful butterfly. So that's what I got. Larry, would you like to add anything?
Well, I was going to ask, and this is really for both of you, is there, when you're doing, you know, you're both pretty good on the warm market side, but is there a particular connection line or saying that you say when you're trying to open it up? Because I know Rachel is at the gym every day, so she may have a couple right off the top. But I mean, is there anything that you use that you might be able to share with the rest of the team here?
Yeah, great question. So, I mean, 3 things I can share with you, you know, if for helping a new agent go from 0, okay, mindset to like 100% confident, focusing on building their skills, their mindset, their momentum. Number 1, I would say start by doing the step-by-step onboarding system here, okay? Get into the training, you know, get into join the impact calls, join the meetings. Excuse me, Miss Emmy, This is why I love working from home. Okay, so you you want to keep them get the onboarding, stick with the step-by-step onboarding system and set them up. So you want to have a clear, write your goals out, write your tasks out, do the Ivy League. Okay, follow that. Secondly, I would pair them with a mentor. Okay, I would pair yourself with a mentor, or an accountability partner. Okay, that's very important, because if you have like a friend that you can, or an accountability partner in this business that you can, say, hey, yeah, I got this going on. Great. Just encouragement each day, or even if it's every couple of days, however, confidence grows when people feel supported and guided. How you can do it is just, you reach out to whoever your upline is and whoever's in your team. That's what we did here with the Griffin base shop. There's a few of us that communicate, and it helps to know that you have a buddy system. So next, thirdly, I would say, focus on your mindset and reframing fear. Okay, you can't have fear walking into this. Of course, I mean, this is a big call. There's like almost 300 people on this call. I'm not used to this. I told Larry, I said, I'm going to be nervous, So it's just like, you got to reframe your fear. But I said, you know what? I got this, confidence isn't just about skills. It's about belief in yourself. So you want to overcome rejection. You're going to get pounded down with rejection in this business, but it's dialing. Okay. No, I'm not interested. No, So getting your skill set on how to react to those rejections is everything. It's going to keep your mindset focused and clear. And then that's all I got. So, you just want to focus on mindset and reframe that fear. Those are a part of the process. Accept them. And it is a numbers game, guys. So you got to dial that phone, and you got to keep track of what you're doing. Keeping track is going to show you exactly where you need to implement change. And that's all I got.
Okay, great. Hey, Rachel, you have a story where you had connected, or I think it was both you and Daryl connected with someone from the gym, right? Now, how did that conversation come about?
Yeah, so naturally, if you're at the same place at the same time, you start to see people and say hi, things like that. So we built kind of a community of people that we work out with, and then individually as well. There's a gentleman who would kind of be a part of our workout group and then nod and fade in and out. And I was at the library doing something, and I saw him there. He's walking out, and I'm like, hey, long time. I hadn't seen him at the gym in a while. And he's like, yeah, just studying. And I'm like, oh, what are you studying for? And he's like, some type of nursing thing. He's in the medical field. And I'm like, okay. He's like, what do you do? And I was like, well, I was in tech, but now, I'm future proofing families. I'm protecting, what matters most around, people's homes, people's families, their children, their legacy, as well as retirement. And he was like, oh, through what? And I said, insurance. And he's like, insurance. So my fiance and I have been talking about that, and he just opened up. He's like, do you know about infinite banking? And and I was like, actually, I do. And so it just became this really curious conversation, simply by saying like, hey, what are you doing here? He was studying, hadn't seen him outside of work, got on a call with him, his fiance. We wrote them 5 policies. It was over a weekend, 27,000 APV off one conversation. And granted, that's an anomaly. So let me just preface it. Not every conversation everyone's going to run to the library now. Please go, because readers are leaders, and go get a book and personally develop. Yes. But it was just, he had seen us all the time. And so I'm really big on relational equity. I would say Daryl's strength is dialing and leads. My strength is warm market. Again, people, it just comes naturally. So we challenge each other with our areas of growth, if that makes sense. And so what I do is I just have a really short line. I mean, I don't go up to people and say, hey, what do you do? Because again, I was in sales, and you don't want to appear like a greasy salesperson. I lead with who Rachel is. People know that I love Jesus. People know that I honor my temple. People know that I serve. People know that I give back to youth. People know that I'm happily married, that I have children that I love and adore and disciple. People know that about me, right? So people buy from who they like, or from who they like, know, and trust. And you have to be a likable person. You have to be trustworthy. You have to be someone that's known and positive and all those things. And so we've had several gym related conversations. What I do also, ChatGPT, that's my homegirl. She and I, we're best friends. I'll get an idea. I'm not short of ideas in this business. And I love that this business, yes, there's a system, but you can creatively flex and build your own business however, dynamically you want to. And so I'll get an idea. Around the holidays, I did something, I had a holiday campaign. And I was like, ChatGPT, create language around the spirit of generosity, because I'm very big on giving back, and doing free consultations. She spewed out different language because it's AI. She'll learn me. She understands how I speak. And so created this text. I went on Canva, probably took me 10 minutes to do everything, created a brochure, attached the language, and I wrote 6 policies off of that. And it was like, in the spirit of generosity, I'm offering free consultations. I want to give back. And I genuinely do. This is an education business. We're here to educate, equip, and empower people. Right. And so I'm genuinely here to offer you a consultation to see if you have insurance. Does it make sense? Do you even know who it's with? Most people don't. Do you know what you're paying? Do you know that you could save money? And living benefits, differences between term and whole life and ULs and retirement solutions, and really defying the societal norm around an insurance agent. I'm not an insurance agent per se, like in the true form. I think of someone back in the day, the briefcase. I'm Rachel, right? But I am here to educate people. And if they don't have insurance, to provide value around why they need to insure themselves, their family, their children. And I would say for anyone, understand the core competencies and the avatar or the target audience per type of insurance, right? And then go to our core carriers and figure out what those product lines are and add value around that. Why does a child need a whole life policy? To build cash value, to prepare for their future? Why does someone need final expense when they're older or more wise? Things like that, and lead with value, right? Don't just say, get insurance just to get insurance. I always lead with the value, and then I present them their options, right? You told me this is your why. Reiterate their why. If accountability was a person, it would be me, because I do hold people accountable. But just serving from that perspective, that's how I kind of treat my warm market. I've reached out to family and friends. Have all of them said yes? Heck no. Will they? No. They probably, got insurance with other people, even though they know I do insurance. So don't be attached or offended when they say no and go with someone else. It happens. But again, I'd be remiss not to share this, because if something happened to someone I love and I didn't share it, that would be on me.
Yeah, and that's it. I mean, as we're talking about this theme today, right? Building a dream team. It's casting that vision, right? Knowing where you are. You have to know where you are, right? If consider like yourself like your own GPS, right? You're not going so it's always a starting place. Okay, GPS wants to know where you are and then where you're going. So you have to know where you are before you know where you're going. But if you can cast the vision and then create the strategy, right? Some of the strategies that we talked about today from both of you is so important. But the next part really is, that's great, but we have to create action plans, right? So what would you say, how can we encourage everybody on the call today to take their first step in building their team, even if it's just by themselves and it's their first call? What would you encourage them maybe to say? What would you do?
If you're a party of one right now, I would say after this, get with your upline and share that you want to build. You're not going to know everything in this business. A lot of people think they want to be at a certain point, because that's most of the time in traditional industries, you have to be an expert before you can build a team. Not here. We have the system, and as you're growing, your business will grow. They have access to your upline. So I would say reach out to your upline and let them know you want to build. If your hands are sweating, if you're nervous, great, do it anyway. I would say invite someone to the next call, whatever call that is. If it's an immediate impact call, like our organization has, whatever the next something is with Symmetry, invite them to it. You want to be a leader worth following, but again, if you don't know where you're going, how are they going to follow you? Think about a mama duck. If a mama duck's just spiraling all around, the kids are just going to sit down and be like, "This is crazy. I'm not doing that anymore." So I would say whatever's next for here, share a video. Let Symmetry do Symmetry again, y'all, has so many systems. You just have to do something. So share a video, invite them to the next call, get with your upline and say, hey, I want to do this. Can we outline something that makes sense? But you have to share what your intention is. If your upline doesn't know what you want to build and you don't take initiative, it may not happen. Yeah, I mean, I've done that plenty of times with different people. I have a woman on the call right now that I'm so excited about. She's going through pre-licensing and she's on the call. She's not licensed yet. Share this. Share it, share it, share it, share it, share it. And today may not be the day, but tomorrow, let Symmetry do what Symmetry does best. You're here, you're a conduit, you're a catalyst, you're the vessel in which they're introduced, and then work them through the system. But share, like your vision as well with other people. People don't know what they're getting into and who they're joining and why they should join, right? So lead with value, but you've got to open your mouth and share with someone. So that would be my call to action is, get in the game. You have to share. You have to share.
Yeah, absolutely. Amy, did you want to add anything to that or any thought?
So the most important, the thought that I would say is that you have to have like your elevator speech down pat. You have to, know, like just what Rachel said is just spot on. I mean, that you need to get with your upline. You need to take that step, because even if your palms are sweaty, Rome wasn't built in a day.
Mhm.
That's the saying, so I mean, every step you take, doing something each day to train your mind and to make yourself better is going to get you to the level. And comparing yourself to nobody or comparing yourself to others is not what the mindset that you want to have. You want to partner, you want to have the mentor of somebody that has done it already and just duplicate what they're doing. But it's going to be your own way. But again, just, getting your elevator speech down, and that's all I've got. I mean, I know, like, it's, with me, I've got 2 people that I have out there that are, studying, and I'm fairly new. But this has inspired me to really look at this a different way. So I'm appreciative of all of the support in this Symmetry, because you really have it. You're a conduit, like she said. And with that said, I pray everybody does learn to build, because you should always offer this opportunity.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks for that. And for everybody, what's the one thing, this is for everybody, put it in chat. What's the one thing you're going to take away from this call today to implement this week? What's one thing, if there's one thing from the call that you can implement this week, put it in chat. Love to see that. And then we want to ask too, guys, is it comes up a lot, right? Are you committed to the business? Or are you interested? Well, I'm interested. People are interested in a lot of things, but are they committed to the cause, right? Because there's a big difference between interested and committed. I'm interested in my next promotion, but are you committed to do the things, the reps to get there? I'm interested in getting to my next level, but are you absolutely committed to know exactly where the promotional guidelines and levels of leadership are going to take you? Are you committed to that? Oh, I'd like to recruit, but are you committed to do the things that you have to do? Casey Watkins talks about 2020 vision, right? For profitability, $20,000 of APV a month. We need to pay our bills and pay our leads, but we also know that we want to have 20 ready to writes every month. We need big numbers because we're in the law of large numbers. We can't hire 2 people and expect to have a gigantic agency. So that's why that number isn't just a fabricated, made up number. It's 2020. So let's break it down. If you do 2020 in a month, what does that mean? It means that you're doing $5,000 a week in APV and you're bringing on 5 new people a week. How about we do 1 a day? Let's do 1 app a day and 1 person a day. Let's break it down, right? However you can process that. We don't want to wait to the last week of the month to get everything done. right? We want to do it every day and get a little bit better every single day. How about going to conference? Oh, I'd like to go to conference. Or are you committed to go to conference? Did you buy a ticket yet? If you didn't buy a ticket, why didn't you buy a ticket? See, make yourself committed to what you want to do. You want to get really good at this business? Get with your upline and buy a ticket today, right? Why wait, right? First of all, a lot of the stuff is all financed by Symmetry. So much of it's financed and it's making it very, very easy. So let me ask you this, as we kind of wind down the call today, put in chat, put a 10 in chat if you're committed for growth, if you're committed to get your next promotion, and if you are looking to be an agency owner this year. Put a 10 in chat that you're committed to do that. Would you do that? Put a 10 in chat that you are committed to this business. Ten, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10. I see a lot of 10s. Make that a commitment to yourself, right? Not to me, not to anybody else, but commit to yourself that I will do whatever it takes to get to where I need to get to. I will do whatever it takes, because see, there's some words that will stop you. There's words like I should make my calls today. That's going to knock you out, right? Try. How about anybody try to get better? Or I'm going to try to make a conference, or I'm going to try to get promoted. Take that word out of your vocabulary. Try and shoulds, right? You don't want them in your vocabulary. Do the best you can to take and use another word, because say if someone says I can't do something, I say you can't or you won't. You can't or you won't do it, because see, the thing is, our brain is going to listen to what we say, and if we say it enough, we're going to convince ourselves. So my suggestion is follow the system, because the system isn't broken. Follow your mentor and follow your heart, because if you want something bad enough, you can make it happen. But I'll tell you what, it's going to be work. You're going to have to put the work in. There is no free lunch. I wish I could tell you it was going to be easier, but once if you have it easy now, trust me, you're going to have it hard later. But if you put in the work now and put in a few really good words, put your head down and give it everything you got one day at a time, it's going to be a lot nicer in the future. It's going to be a lot easier. But
And I
we
would
are
say
right.
also on
Yes, go ahead.
ChatGPT, if you guys are looking for affirmations, I know in personal development, professional development, affirmations, I do biblical declarations, whatever works, right? But start declaring things over yourself and watch your mouth. I don't mean to sound like intense, but watch your mouth. Watch what you say about yourself, about this business, about your leads, you have to reframe your mind. You have to take every thought captive, because if you're not careful, your thought life will ruin your life. Because we rehearse the same curse over and over and over again and wonder why this self-fulfilled prophecy is what it is. We have to be careful and watch our mouths. Take those thoughts captive. Is it a blessing or is it a curse? Is this positive or is it negative? Is this helping me or harming me? Right? I do that with my son all the time, because he's like, man, I'm this. I'm like, no, you're not. Wait a minute. Nope. That's not true. You're just having a hard time or a hard minute, but you're not there. You know what I mean? So go on ChatGPT and put in some kind of text or prompt for whoever you are and what you want your brand to represent and what you want your business to be, and have these I am declaratives, declarations, Jesus, and start rehearsing them over and over. Look at yourself in the mirror and take yourself seriously, because if you don't, other people won't. And so I've done that with
motivation.
and it's helped so much.
No.
Sorry.
Awesome. Yes. Can I end with the motivation? The mindset? Okay. To end this call, motivation mindset. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, you are in a multi-trillion-dollar industry that is recession-proof. If you can't understand that, this is the place to be. It's a multi-trillion-dollar industry and it's recession-proof. Go get it. Have a blessed day.
Fantastic. Thank you, ladies. I really appreciate Rachel. Amy, thanks for helping out today. You did an awesome job. Again, replace your words, right? Just say, I will and I must. If you can get those into your vocabulary and replace everything else, you guys are going to have an awesome year. Love everybody. We'll see you.